What is up, everyone? Circon here bringing you guys another replay. Today we're taking a look at the TD that you'll probably not see all that often because the entire line is not that great, but the tier 6 and 7 during my free marketons I actually found really enjoyable. And you might have seen my replay on El Khalouf. If you haven't already, please check that one out as well. It's a stream highlight with the same tank, the tier 7, and I had some really good games on the tier 6 as well. And you'll see, if you've seen the video Jingles did, I think, on my replay of the tier 6, we're gonna take a really similar position here on Proporovka. We're at +2, there's 2 artillery, matchmaking isn't great, but we're gonna try and make the most out of it. And we see on Proporovka, the hill is always an important part. The 1-2 line is always very tricky. And there will always be a couple of people in the middle. With artillery, it will always be more difficult, right? Now, this position is pretty decent. If you're going to try and do something like this, you always have to watch out for fast scout tanks or wheels, right? Because they like to go up here and then go through the little city, village, and then they're going to go down the train track and go into these bushes. That is a fairly... this route right here that I'm showing on the minimap, that route is actually often taken by the there we go, our first damaging shot, by scouts in the early game. So you have to watch how we're gonna go for a spot like this. So what is nice about this spot is that obviously we have the bushes, but you always have to be mindful of this on the right, because if these people are really aggressive or there's a scout continuously doing this route, you cannot do this. You have to be mindful of that, because if you don't double bush, chances are, especially tier 9s, will spot you or counter spot you, right? Now, this tank has ridiculously good camo. It's about 33 on the move and over 50 stationary. So I'm not overly worried. Obviously, we lose all our camo after shooting, but I'm fairly certain we can play here and try and help the team a little bit. So the Betcha took the early spot and he saw the Centurion, and we shot him in the side of the turret, I think it was. And this is basically going to play out very similar to our tier 6 game. And this is kind of what you have to do. If you don't have the numbers, because most of our people are on the 1-2 line, and there's 2 artillery and our Canonan is AFK. Our guy in the middle, the T10, gets RT'd because this map is awful for heavy tanks. Obviously, there's absolutely no RT cover. There's none. You can only go hill, but with a T10, you're not going to do that either. So he just got blasted by artillery for about 3 minutes and he died. Another nice shot into a Centurion here. In case you're wondering about this tank, by the way, it's 192 base pen and then heat for 250 and HE for 61 with a 390 alpha gun that goes to 530 with HE. So the gun is quite nice. The reload is good. You have above 3000 DPM. The frontal armor is, yeah, you will not really reliably bounce anything. That's our first bounce as a shot there on the type. Obviously, it's going to be a hard shot. We're probably going to need to load the heat even for the sides there. And they're going to go ham now because that's the Caravan Action X. The Type 4 is coming. And we just got to make sure. We have to scare them off, basically. We have to make as many shots count here. Trying to pick them off. The lower health targets, take their guns away. And overall, in a situation, you either shoot the low health one that you can kill, or you try and shoot as many people as possible. Because, for example, if everybody shot the Tiger 1, but they didn't shoot the AMX, then the AMX gets overconfident, or the Type 4 gets overconfident. So you actually kind of want to spread out your fire a little bit, as we get a really cheeky pen in the front of the KV3 there. Stock KV3 by the looks of it. An AMX 30. Yeah, we hit him right in the gun method, I think. And that type is obviously still alive at 2000 health. Now he's 900. Get a really cheeky pen with the heat. Obviously, heat doesn't lose pen over distance, so that's nice. And then this one actually went, I think, straight into the shoulder pad, because the shoulder pad here is basically unangled, and I think it went right in there. And now we're gonna try and kill him, but that's one's about. So we got 2 really lucky shots in that type, which is very, very nice, because that's obviously the main big bully on this flank, and we're getting really beat up. Like the T-34 is almost dead, and the medium tank alongside it is almost dead. So this is a hard one to hold, but you have to do as much damage as possible, because once they reach the track here, like B6 and all that, like the game is pretty much over at that point. So you have to do as much damage here as possible. Luckily, the Betched AP is still fairly healthy. The pilot is trying to do some counter spotting / hiding, and this is the best thing you can do, right? We're bottom tier TDs. This is what we should be doing. Is supporting our dudes in an open map like this. This is what we were kind of meant to do. As the Centurion tries to kill the pilot, we missed the shot. He ramps him, and the Yak 88 tracks him, and that's why I get to reload, and boom, we get our first kill. We're already on 3,000 damage right now. Now, I say already, but it's been a 5-minute game, and most games are over in about 6, so yeah. We get another shot in there, and this is just like shooting fish in a barrel. And because we take an aggressive position, whilst having good view range still, with good camo, and then now we did a fairly annoying mission, by the way. Kill 2 before taking damage. That's a fairly hard one to do. And we just get it randomly. I think I did 2 missions in a row, just randomly playing tier 7s. And I've been getting those missions done randomly at tier 7 now that we're free marking those left and right. I think I've done over 30 missions by now, just doing the 3 marks with terrible tanks. So that's always interesting. Don't get the kill shot there. We do get the spotting though. So we're at 1,000 spotting, 3,600 damage. And now we spot the IS, which is very important, of course. Another reason why I like this spot, because even if you don't have the most camouflage, if you have at least 445 view range, or maybe even a little bit lower, but around that ballpark, you can actually get some decent spotting here, because people will come down the hill, you'll spot them, and then people will still, if there's, obviously you have to look if there's people or not. And then this SU shows up out of nowhere. This actually shook me so hard. I was like, what is he doing here suddenly? But sure, he can take a shot as well, that's fine. And we're actually kind of running out of shells. We don't have a lot of them, and there is only 8 left, and 2 of those are HE, so this is going to be interesting. And meantime, they're trying to push the one line against, like, what is left there. The Ferdinand, the prototype, the FE is there, the T-34-2GFT is still in the middle, so the Black Prince gets blown up. It's only the T-20. The PTA is luckily still very healthy, and as he puts another shot into the T-34. So now I'm just thinking, okay, we kind of need to kill the hill, because the AMX is still somewhere around there. And I think if we look backwards, yeah, our Batchet is really banged up now at 135 health. And the Yak 88 is still really healthy as well, because he basically helped me out, or we helped each other out. He was in a couple of bushes behind me, and that is fine, right? So he's going to go up and over. I kind of have the same idea, because, you know, I'm not going to go attack the AMX on the hill. I'm going to go and dip on the right, and then the AMX gets spotted here, which means the entire hill is free. Which means the Batchet can secure that and just zip up the 0 line, because there's very likely no one else there, right? We know the Verdi's on the 1-2 line. The prototype is very likely there as well, because otherwise you probably would have noticed by now, right? The Yak 88, however, gets spotted and continues to go for the AMX 30, which means he gets absolutely blasted, which means and he gets killed by the prototype, which gives me the info that the prototype is also on the 1-2 line and the Batchet is completely safe. Now, there could still be artillery at, what is it, K67 here? This is, obviously, artillery is almost always there. So I'm going to go back, now that the AMX is dead, and I'm going to check if there's artillery there, / help the Batchet. If he proxy spots them behind the hill and he proxies them here, I can maybe help. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to try and see if I can help the Batchet. And now we get lucky, because the artillery, for some reason, is running towards that spot. So we take aim, take the lead. Our shell velocity is not that good, but we still managed to take the hit. So now the game is still pretty interesting, because what's happening? Our T-20 is on 40 health, almost dead, doesn't have a good gun. Our Canonen has been AFK the entire game, and we have 2 artillery and a Batchet at 138 health. I'm on full health, but it only means I have 800 because we're tier 7 TD, and we still haven't received those health bonuses or patches that they're talking about. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. So this is the plan. We have very good camo. On the move, you have over, like, 33 or so is our stat for it. So I'm like, okay, I'll go from this bush, see if I spot anything. If I do, that's good, because then the PTA can help, and the Batchet can help. But we're going to continue moving straight away. We're probably going to get spotted. Yes, we get spotted. Going to go to this bush, and we're going to try and, you know, our tank is very low, so we can take cover here. And yeah, so before we peek, because obviously we got spotted, we don't want to get blasted. So we wiggle a little bit, because, yep, there's still the GW Panther. We instantly heal the stun, and we go up, because we're pretty certain by now that we're not spotted anymore. I'm a little bit hesitant, as you see, so I'm going back and forward. Maybe there's somebody that's going to shoot right as I climb up when I was still spotted or something like that. So the PTA follows me around as well, goes to the next bush. And now, honestly, when you think about it, the T-20 should be the one rushing in right now. I know that's kind of dumb, because he's 100% going to die, but he only has 40 health. His gun is not going to do much, and if he gets like a full health spot here, everyone else can open up on them, and he will get like at least 1,000 spotting, if not more. So the T-20 should have been the sacrificial lamb here, honestly. But I get that people don't want to do it, right? So the plan now is, since we don't spot anyone, is to actually go forward. But the FE manages to go forward, and the T-20 spots him. So we spot him, actually, because we were still in the bush overlooking it. We actually bounced the prototype because I'm like, I'm gonna go straight forward. And now we are the ones, the sacrificial lambs. We get the spotting of the prototype. This is already what I wanted to do. This is already really good. We're at 4,700 damage, 3,300 spotting. We can take a hit of the 30, that's absolutely fine, and he reveals himself to us by taking that shot. We go in, we actually track him, which is not good for gun marks because it splits off both assistances, but that's fine. T-20 actually kills him and stays alive. And now we're gonna go because we know the artillery is a one-shot. We auto-aim, wait a little bit, bang, and he is dead. Now that was one of the most ridiculous games I've played on that map with a tier 7 TD that almost no one plays. Like, let's be honest, you'll never really see these. And I hope, at least, you know, for people that play the tanks for fun and not really grinding them, I kind of hope that people will pick up the tier 7 and the tier 6, because I personally think they're really freaking good. Like, the tier 6 is also really awesome. And the stock gun on this tank is the top gun of the tier 6, which is still at tier 7. It's really not bad. This gun has really long aiming time, but the 100 mil you can put on it has really short aiming time and still really good pen values and DPM. So the 100 mil is even worth taking a look on. I'm grinding it with the 122 mil. That's probably in the end still the best choice, but the 100 mil you can probably get away with. But yeah, that is that game. So let's take a look at this end plate. I actually had to upload it because when I was playing this, it was with music and whatnot. That's why we're doing the replay cast right now. And this is what it looks like. We got a second mark because that was the objective that evening, is get to 85% with more tier 7s. I almost have every single tier 7 at 2 marks now before we make the jump to the 3 marks. So that's really cool. I've been really enjoying this tank. We had some really, really good games. I think this was the last game of that evening. And the 2 games before this were also aces and were not that El Khalouf game. So 3 aces in a row. Before that was the first class. I'm just super enjoying this tank. 5,000 damage and almost 5,100. 5 kills, 1,869 base XP. The Betcha did well on the hill spotting for everyone. The PTA did a lot of damage, but not a lot of cell spotting, so his XP was fairly low, but hey. And then the Cadonan obviously was never there, so he got no XP. We even made some credits, and that was while running food on it, and we shot almost every single ammo shell that I had left in the tank. So we lost a little bit less than 60k because the heat is obviously very expensive. So yeah, excellent game. Hope you guys enjoyed this little replay here. And yeah, what can I say, guys? You should probably try this one out. Now, I will say that the tier 8 is probably not worth your time. The tier 9 and 10 probably aren't either. The tier 9 is okay. The tier 10 is very lackluster. But the tier 6 and 7, guys, I'd almost say are worth taking a look at, even if you don't plan on grinding the whole way through. And if you like playing some of the lower tiers like I have been doing, I think this is definitely, you know, worth taking a look at. But for now, I'm going to leave you. Don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. Check out some more videos. Check out the live El Khalouf game that I uploaded earlier. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.